Joining us now, Republican Congressman from Orange County, California, my old stomping ground when I was with the Orange County Register, when it was owned by Freedom Communications back in the good old days before the upheaval, when actually a good company owned it. I'm not sure who owns it now. I think it's in the hands of receivership. But we lived just off the beach there for some time, and I used to take the train in up the coast to Anaheim from where I was. So let's get on. Congressman Dana Rohrabacher, sir, Orange County Republican. Good to have you with us, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning, Dana Rohrabacher. How are you?
Well, I'm alive, and I'm here.
Well, we heard it was lockdown yesterday. We don't know how bad it is, but I've noticed every time there's some kind of a terrorism attack or some gun violence going on, that somehow or another somebody slips through the cracks, jumps a fence, or gets to Capitol Hill. Isn't that odd?
Yeah, that's we have every reason to be concerned for the security here, because obviously we are a target in the mind of these terrorist groups, whatever their stripe.
Well, Congressman, we want to speak about a few items today. John's probably going to talk about the convention. I'm really interested as far as the immigration issues, and I understand that you're on top of some of this H-1B visa. Can you speak about this, sir?
Well, first of all, we've got major problems with immigration itself, because we do, and we can be proud of the fact that we let in 1 million legal immigrants come to our country every year. And this is something that we actually allow more legal immigrants here than the rest of the world combined. But we have these folks who that doesn't seem to be enough for various interest groups, and especially in the business community, where they want cheaper labor. And it used to be that the labor that was affected was on the lower income people, or having their wages bid down by illegals that were coming in. Well, now they want to expand the legal part of immigration by bringing in much more educated people in the name of H-1B visas. But we have so many people right now who are underemployed or unemployed, who are engineers and computer specialists and various other type of expertise. We don't need to bring in people from the outside, give them a special treatment, which is what an H-1B visa is. This is just another way, again, of satisfying a very high clique in the business community at the expense of the well-being of average Americans.
Congressman Rohrabacher, yesterday Hillary Clinton stated that she was concerned about American citizens training H-1B workers to take their tech jobs. I kind of chuckled at it because she was zeroing in on Disney, which is probably one of the biggest Democratic supporters, Disney, ABC Studios, and Disney World. What do you think about that? Isn't that like an oxymoron, her speaking about H-1Bs, when she really is an amnesty person?
Oh, well, the Democratic Party is so far over, and Hillary, of course, has been part of that leadership that has flooded our country with millions of people who basically should not be here, because we do have a very strong legal immigrant population, and we should be proud of that. We are proud of that, but she, by expanding the Democratic Party, just seems always to be doing this. How they keep the support of labor unions, for example. How do they keep the support of people who are lower income Americans when when the Democratic Party is for bringing all of these people in to compete for their jobs?
Congressman, can you tell us about your recent trip to Eurasia? Is there anything you could tell us that we should know about?
Well, the pivotal country for American security and for the stability of the world is Egypt, because if General Sisi, who now has been elected president of that country, falls to radical Islam, and he is targeted, and he's under incredible pressures. If he falls, if his government falls, the entire Middle East will just fall as well. I mean, these other countries, Qatar and United Arab Emirates and the rest of these things, if you have a powerhouse like Egypt go under, they'll all go under. And we have not been, this administration has not been as cooperative and supportive as they should have been for a country that is so important for the stability of the world and our own security. And we have, I met with General Sisi, the president of the country, for several hours. I went out to the Sinai Desert where they have an expanding insurgency from the radical Islamicists, and we have not been, for example, this administration just changed the way El-Sisi can buy weapons from us. Used to be Sisi would put 20% down as soon as the weapon came in, and then the 20% for 5 years, every year for 5 years. Well, now he's notified that he has to pay cash on the line, cash on delivery for our weapons. Well, this dramatically restricts his ability to purchase weapons that he needs to defeat the radicals today, right now, who are basically targeting his government and his people.
I tell you what, Congressman, it's just unbelievable. Congressman, yesterday in the House, defeated the expansion of the Patriot Act. FBI Director James Comey asking for expansive powers that would have affected warrantless searches, people's internet activity, as well as their banking activity. This after Comey just said it doesn't really matter what happens to with Mrs. Clinton's emails. Who was in favor of this?
Well, you do have some conservatives who are law and order conservatives and do not understand that you've got to balance out the benefits of any type of the ability to track people who are threats to the public safety. That you got to balance that out with the fact that you have government. Our own government can get out of control and can become a threat to our own freedom. And we've seen in the last 8 years under this administration how the government will abuse its own power. For example, a movie producer ends up a movie producer D'Souza ends up doing a movie that is bad about the president, and they go with a microscope to find anything that they could possibly get on him and put him in jail. We've got people in the Tea Party movement who end up mysteriously, all of them end up being audited. And this is, we are not immune in the United States to having an abusive government and a government that would threaten our freedom. And so you don't want to give the type of powers to the government that our founding fathers believed were our own personal and individual rights protected by the Constitution. In this case, we should be secure in our records, and it's
right.
Not the government has a right to come in and know every single thing about our lives. So I'm one of the conservatives who believes in limited government rather than trying to focus on more security based decision making.
Congressman Dana Rohrabacher, Republican from Orange County, Florida. Yesterday, the House passing the Separation of Powers Restoration Act. Give your insight on that and what happens to it now.
I'm going to have to tell you that we have had a great usurpation by the executive branch, whether it's the EPA or whether it's other government agencies that have been taking, just mandating things and using the president's, of course, executive authorities to make the policies that used to be, of course, reflective in laws and passed by Congress, and would have required that. So we are now. I can't go into the exact details of that particular bill, but I can say that is what that's the challenge we're facing, and the Republican Party, of course, is that we watch the president usurping the authority of Congress every day. We're trying our best to bring it back to what was meant in the Constitution, for us to be the legislative branch to play the major role in setting policies for the country, rather than having the president. Our founding fathers wanted the president to be the one who implemented the policies of the government, and the legislative branch to be the ones who set the policy. Well, we've gone so far down the wrong road, and now we've got an abusive president who who has frankly no respect for the Constitution, and we've got to start reasserting our authority. We expect most of these bills to be that we're passing, that are good bills right now, to be vetoed by the president.
Right. So, I mean, even if they got the 60 votes to get through the Senate, which is questionable, that goes to Obama, he vetoes it. You can't get 2/3 in probably either chamber for any of this. So on one hand, you say, okay, well, the House passed something. On the other hand, you know that it's basically dead on arrival, right?
I'm afraid that's correct. But remember, we also we haven't lost yet, although I think we're in danger of losing the right of the people themselves in our country to make these decisions. So if we put it out, we say this is what the issue is. The Democratic Party and the President of the United States have vetoed this. The public will decide in this upcoming election what direction they want America to go, and that's what this is all about. This election will determine whether or not we have just cast off the constitutional government that we have believed in and have tried somewhat to try to maintain over the years, or whether or not we're just going to go down this path of that omnipotent government, whatever government can promise people, and the executive branch and the President of the United States is going to be able, with Hillary in power, to do whatever they want to do. Well, that's just not the way our government is supposed to work.
Okay, we've got only about 2 more minutes with Congressman Rohrabacher. Let's get to the Trump campaign. We're all going to be in Cleveland. I'm going to be there starting on Monday. We'll be doing our show live 6 to noon from the Quicken Loans Arena Center. I'm also a national delegate to that. And Dana, just so you know, I'm the vice chairman of the Trump campaign in Virginia. How does Trump win this election?
I think Trump is going to win, and it's going to be a big margin, because what you've got is someone who is not, interestingly, tainted with the same type of problem that a lot of Republicans have, because in our party we have had a coalition between middle class and working people, patriots, and like in the Tea Party, and then on the other hand, the business community, which quite often is interested in profit for themselves and to hell with everybody else. And so I think Trump represents now a chance to regain the loyalty of that huge voting section that we relied upon, of the patriots among the voting population, that have been very upset in recent years because they have not seen a Republican Party supporting the trade policies or the immigration policies or the free enterprise employment policies that will affect their own lives and in a positive way. And I think that Trump is going to bring all those people back in. They people who have been refraining from voting. Also, he's going to have people who, from the Democratic Party, these labor union people especially, who say, wait a minute, again, the Democratic Party has been betraying working people in order to get the votes of people who they're trying to give government benefits to, in order to have sort of a welfare state that will vote Democratic. Trump is going to bring all working class Americans back into the Republican Party.
All right, we're out of time. I want to thank Congressman Dana Rohrabacher for being with us, and hope you get along, Congressman, with the new owners of Freedom Communication, the Orange County Register. I was there for quite some time when the Siegel family owned it, but that's changed hands several times, and I've written about you many times on the editorial pages.
It's as you know, it went bankrupt, and
right.
Newspapers are passé, and radio and computer communications is in now. So,
Dana, you're a great American, buddy.
All right,
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. We're out of time. We'll see you in Cleveland. This is the John Fredericks Radio Network.